I'm Tim Barkley with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and today we're talking with Melinda Welch with First Class Painting and Restoration. How you doing, Melinda?
Hi, doing great, thank you.
Good, good. Well, today, Melinda, you have invited us out to Kiowa Island to a home that that First Class Painting and Restoration was involved with finishing out a workroom and kind of transitioning that workroom into a usable artist studio. Is that right?
That is correct. That is correct.
Well, good deal. And kind of one of the interesting things about this project is, as I mentioned before, your company is First Class Painting and Restoration, and so immediately everyone thinks, okay, you're a painting contractor, but in fact, and as we're going to illustrate here today, First Class Painting and Restoration is a painting contractor, but you do much more than that. Can you kind of just give us a brief rundown of what First Class Painting and Restoration is all about, and then we'll get into the specifics of this project.
Okay, sure. We do a lot of different things. Painting is something that we're known for most, but we do finished carpentry, we lay tile, we do a lot of cabinetry work, we refinish cabinets as well as glazing of cabinets, sheetrock work, electrical work, pretty much your one-stop shop. So.
Gotcha. And people always think, and it is definitely, painting is a do-it-yourself kind of thing that some people do attempt, and but the painting itself is actually pretty easy. It's all the prep work that is the challenging part, and especially if you're working on a house that might have some issues with termite damage or rot or this or that. Before you can actually put that finished coat of paint on there's quite a bit of work and preparation that goes into that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. 90% of a paint job and how the results are going to be is based on how well the prep is done. So we like to ensure a nice, thorough job in prepping so that the canvas is beautiful when it's done.
Right, and if homeowners do decide to tackle a project by themselves, and they don't put in the time and effort to prep that area, it's kind of garbage in, garbage out. They're putting a beautiful paint over something that's not going to really last all that well.
That's correct. You have to be very cautious about painting whenever you do decide. There's many different aspects that people don't often think about. And I would say if you are considering painting your own home, at least get the advice from someone who knows a little bit about it and the types of finishing products you should be using and the prep process. If you're not, just hire me.
Yeah, and do you ever have situations where a homeowner has attempted to do the project themselves, and they spend a few weekends doing it, and they get done, and they're just not happy with the outcome, and then they do call you in?
Oh, sure. A lot of times we actually get phone calls in the middle of the jobs whenever they've attempted to do something and it's become overwhelming for them, or they're not liking the results at the end, and so then we have to come in, and it's harder for us actually, because then we have a lot of things that we have to undo in order to get right. So the best thing to do is just call it professional.
Yeah, do it once, do it right the first time. Okay. Well, let's kind of talk. Let's transition now and talk about this specific project. And in our pre-interview, you mentioned that in addition to all of the painting, First Class Painting and Restoration also was responsible for the interior trim carpentry throughout. And we're going to be I'm going to have you show us some examples of that in a second. All of the tile work, and we have tile on the floor and on the walls here. First Class Painting and Restoration also installed all of the lighting here, and so quite a bit other than just painting on this project, right?
Yes, this was actually a unfinished storage space, and we wanted to make it a usable art studio for the client and the homeowner, and so we had a lot of work to do when we walked on site here.
Yeah, and And as you're watching this video, you're probably noticing some of the beautiful artwork. We've got some jewelry that the artist slash homeowner created here in her studio, and then we've got some other interesting items here and we're going to be talking to the homeowner here in a few minutes and have her tell us about her artwork and also get her take on how the project went. But first, let's Melinda, why don't you go ahead and kind of give us a rundown of what First Class Painting and Restoration was responsible for here.
Okay, sure. We have basically taken this space and finished it off, and we started by kind of going over a couple visual ideas. Miss Buffy, the homeowner, is an artist and had wonderful ideas about the way that she wanted this space to look. And so we kind of took her visions of grandeur and made it to be. We finished the ceiling, and we put trim and all the electrical that you see in. We also took special time to put the trim up on the top where you see above the tile here and all around in order to bring a little bit of extra something to the room. We have,
and I noticed you or the homeowner, you didn't go overboard on this because this is a workspace. It's an artist studio, so it might not have been appropriate to put fancy crown molding in here or something.
Oh no, well I know she wants her art to stand out as being the main focus of what's in here, and so that was also important. We didn't want to do anything too overboard. She had a vision in mind, and we wanted to stay with that vision. We also painted all the rooms that you see, all the beadboard, the walls, the ceiling. We added a little bit of extra stuff that she needed in order to make this a usable space. These cabinets right here were just boxes. And so we created the doors for her and refinished the top of this also. It was very dull, and it needed a nice sanding and a couple coats of poly to bring it to life. We also did a couple of other cabinetry type jobs over there. She has some cabinets that are in her workspace that she needed to hold supplies and different things. So we also did those faces, finished those cabinets off with paint, and the same thing to that countertop. And this over here is one of the storage spaces that she needed. She has Sure. She has tons of supplies, obviously, that she uses being an artist, and it was important that she find something that was large enough to hold these supplies, but yet didn't take away from the room and could hide a little bit of the clutter. She needed to make sure that everything was nice and hidden and usable. Important. So that's one of the things that we also did here as far as carpentry was concerned.
Quite a bit of carpentry went into this job, as you mentioned. All of the molding toward the ceiling, and I think you mentioned in the pre-interview the base molding, and then creating the closet here, the doors and everything, and what else? Kind of continue the tour.
Okay. Also, the tile that you see here is something that we installed and put in, and
what was here before?
Concrete. Just concrete. So we did add the tile here. The beautiful mosaic tile that you see on the back of this wall was also installed by us, and this was one of her visions, one of the things that she really wanted to stand out. She picked the tile out. Another thing is her daughter picked out all the colors that you see and helped with the selections of the tile and pretty much did all of the design for this. So it was a great family thing as well for her to integrate some style with her family members. Also, there's another room that we have laid tile in also over here.
This is kind of unconditioned space in here. Another really nice storage / work area here.
Yeah, and we did lay the tile in here, and we also painted everything that you see here as well to make this a little bit livelier for her. So that was some of the other stuff we did as far as tile was concerned.
Yeah, it gives it a nice finished look here. Okay. The bookshelves, how about these over here?
Yes, we did create those bookshelves as well. That's a part of our carpentry on this job site as well. But she did a lot of the extra touches. We hung all the lighting and the glass shelving we put on the walls. pretty much just made it a nice, finished, workable space for her that she could feel comfortable in showcasing her work as well as working in the same space.
Great. Okay. Do you you want to add anything else as far as what First Class Painting and Restoration provided here?
Well, one of the things that I think we provided and worked very hard to provide was also a good product with a good budget. That was really important. We want to make sure that we meet the needs of all of our clients, and we are aware that all of them have different budgets, and we like to try to take their vision and make it work within the budget that they have. And so I am proud to say that we stayed on budget for this job, and that the homeowner was wonderful to work for. Just great. Couldn't ask for a better client. So.
How long did the project take from start to finish?
Actually, I think it took somewhere in the ballpark of about 6 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks is what I want to say, from start to finish. And our crew worked diligently in here and made sure that everything was nice and clean every day before we left, just keeping in mind that this is a home of someone. And so we like to be courteous in that respect. So yeah, it was a great job. Everything went really smoothly from the very beginning to the very end, and we're very pleased with the results.
Good. Were there any particular challenges that you had to overcome with this project?
Not really. There were things that were a little more difficult than others, but there are things that we're used to facing in the line of work that we do. And so it was all pretty much smooth running from the beginning.
Okay, good deal. Well, let's next we're gonna have a word with the homeowner / artist and have her tell us about her artwork and also her experience with First Class Painting and Restoration.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay, now we're talking with Sandy Buffy, the homeowner and artist. How you doing, Sandy?
I'm great, thanks.
Well, thanks so much for inviting us into your home today. Why don't we start by having you tell us a little bit about this beautiful artwork that we see here?
Okay, well first, this space was created with everything that I needed to create jewelry and also my portrait busts that are made out of dryer lint. So I am thrilled beyond my wildest dreams of how this came out. I mean, I really didn't anticipate how beautiful it would be, but yet workable. So it's terrific to have a space that I could use as a showroom, and then have a space where I can get knee-deep in dryer lint and found metal and copper pieces and gutters and things, which is what I use for my artwork. So it's just a fantastic space, and I spend way too much time out here, unfortunately.
Well, you said a couple of things that I think are going to have sparked the interest of our listeners, viewers, and readers. Dryer lint. What do you mean when you say dryer lint?
I've been working with dryer lint for about 15 years, and it's the same that you pull out of your dryer. I kind of just discovered that I could sculpt with it just by accident. I was on the phone with my mom and made a little man, and I said, oh, I got to go. I made a man with my lint, and she called back later and said, I think you need to go back to work. She said, are you playing with your dryer lint? And so from then on, an idea was born, and I just kind of started with small pieces and then got bigger and bigger. And then somebody asked me if I could do Frankenstein, and I said, well, sure, and I did, and kind of just went from there. And now I'm making, I'd like to have 2 or 3 going a year. It takes about 3 months from start to finish, and about 20 gallons of dryer lint per head. Wow. So I do commissioned pieces, and I do shows across the country, but then in the meantime I have my hardware line where everything is made of found objects and hardware, and it's called Hardware. So that's what all of this is. I'm prolific, to say the least. I have over 300 pieces, and I really needed a place where I could store and display my finished pieces, and this is the first studio that I've been able to do that. So it's not all over my dining room table and all over the kitchen counters, and my husband is really happy about that. So these drawers that were designed hold all the extra jewelry, and in here so it's just fantastic, so that when I have friends over or art meetings and things, everybody can see the jewelry, and it's good for me to see what I've made, so I don't do anything that's close to it. Every piece is unique and one of a kind, and so I'm just kind of starting this business mostly on the website and social media, trying to get updated. But I'm kind of old to it's very intimidating, but I'd rather just make the jewelry, but selling it is pretty important too.
Right. Well, before we, I ask you about your experience with First Class Painting and Restoration, why don't you give our listeners, viewers, and readers a website that they can maybe see your work at?
Oh, okay. SandyBuffy.com.
Okay. And it's spelled out?
SandyBuffie.com.
Great. Well, you're definitely going to want to check out the. I see a head of Jay Leno here, and then we've got the Wolf Man, and very interesting. I mean, very intricate. Johnny Depp over here. That's a favorite, I'm sure. Got a little dog just sitting on the carpet.
That's Shaquille O'Neal's dog, Thor. So I haven't gotten a chance to send it to him. I make these things, and then with the hopes of getting them to stars that then will auction them off for some kind of charity event. So that's my ultimate goal with some of these pieces.
Good for you. And then as soon as I walked in here, I saw that head, that bust over here, and instantly recognized him as George Clooney. So I mean, you're quite a talented artist.
Oh, thank you. It just kind of happens, and I would love Ellen DeGeneres to have that one, since she has such a thing for George. But yeah, it's really fun, and I think it pushes me to create a higher level of art than. And I'm not a trained artist. I'm a speech pathologist by training, but have been doing this on the side for 15 years, and it's really what I'm passionate about.
Great. Well, let's talk about First Class Painting and Restoration, and let's start by having you tell us why did you decide to hire First Class Painting and Restoration to begin with?
Well, I immediately had a great feeling when they came to look at the space. They were the third of three people that I had out to check it out, and they immediately saw what I wanted to do with the space. Even though it was completely filled with boxes, you really couldn't see anything except the floor and maybe how unfinished it was. It was really not a really pleasant space. And the minute I said I wanted to put small glass mosaics on this whole wall, Ronnie just went, "Oh, this is fantastic. That's going to be great." So I knew, and then when I met Tommy, and it was the whole family thing, I really loved. I loved that, and he was very complimentary of his workers. And then
when you say the family thing, what are you referring to?
Well, the mother and daughter and daughter-in-law, and I don't really know who all's family, but they act like they're all family if they're not even related. But they really. They work so well together that it was great, and I would have adopted any of them into my family.
Kind of a family affair. A lot of family members working at First Class Painting and Restoration, which is nice, because I'm sure there's a lot of accountability there, and you definitely don't. You'll be going home and hearing about it later if someone's not pulling their own, right?
Oh, I imagine it'd be discussed around the kitchen table on the night, and I liked that whole feel. I trusted them immediately, and I felt like they would really stay as true to their budget as they could. And as we went, I had them make this tool trolley for me, because I needed something that would roll on the floor, and it's brilliant. I mean, there isn't one on the market, and they just came up with it and built it for me, and so those kinds of things as we were going. And I would say, well, I kind of need this a little deeper, or I need that, and it was never an issue. And they never said, "Oh, I don't think we can do that," or "That's going to cost more." It was never an issue. It was just, "Oh, okay, that's a great idea," or they came up with an idea, and then they would ask me, "Well, what do you mind if we box this pole in? I think it would look better," and I hadn't even thought of it. So they were great, and they were so neat at night. There wasn't a spot anywhere. Even when doing all the woodwork, they would collect all their sawdust and take it away somewhere, and
everything was cleaned thoroughly.
Thoroughly cleaned. Yeah, I did get a bag of sawdust though for a future art piece. So, but I did have to ask for it. Yeah, they were very neat. They always worked. They were on time. They were considerate. I mean, they were just. It was the most pleasant. We've renovated 6 houses, and this was the most pleasant and wonderful experience of any of the people that we've ever worked with. And I mean, it went flawless. And I am shocked that it was done in 6 weeks, because I really wanted to be in by Christmas, and I mean, I've been in here now for months, and so not only was it done cost in my budget and on time, and it was just, I want to have these guys over and have dinner and entertain in here and just kind of be part of my family, which is really unique, I think.
It is. It's noteworthy because a lot of homeowners have the experience where they're maybe best friends with the contractor at the beginning of the project, but by the end they want to wring their neck.
Right. Yeah. Not in this case. Right. I mean, I'm just handing out their cards to everybody that I meet, saying, if you need anything done, this is the group to do it. And they started right away too, which I was amazed. And so it was just, it was first class. What can I say?
I guess that's why First Class Painting and Restoration has that name then.
Right. It's appropriately named. Yeah.
And it's a high standard to live up to, also to have that kind of thing. And I guess they're kind of putting their money where their mouth is, right?
Right. And it's a highly competitive business, but if you do quality work, you're going to have success. And I would hire them again if I needed anything. I'm trying to think of something that I need, but I don't really need anything else at this time. But I'm passing their card out because it was beyond a good job.
Was it? Tell me about about having one company kind of do the entire project turnkey versus maybe having multiple contractors, a lighting, electrical contractor coming in, a tile contractor coming in, maybe some interior trim carpenters coming in and doing the work separately.
Oh, this was by far the best way to do that. I mean, I didn't really realize that they could do everything with their group when we first started. I thought that they would be, contracting out for the electrical or for the cabinets. And it wasn't until we got rolling that I saw the same people doing all of this. And then I saw them going over there and building that. And then they were doing the lighting. And I thought, this is amazing. So it was so easy, and it kept everything on a timeline because they didn't have to wait for somebody to come in depending on the other person's schedule, and having the capacity to lay tile, do paint, do woodwork, custom woodwork, electrical stuff, all in one group is amazing. I mean,
And you had mentioned to me in the pre-interview that that when you bought this house, a builder had built the house and had kind of used some leftover materials here and there in the space, and which seems to be perfectly fine with you, since you're kind of your art mediums that you use a lot of recycled material and things like that. And I noticed it doesn't look like you really went overboard on the materials that you bought, but everything looks beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, my daughter Emily, she designed everything, and the colors and the tile and the lights and everything. And I just made a little list of the the SKU numbers or whatever it was, and gave it to Tommy, and then I didn't have to do a thing. It just appeared magically, and here it was. So. I wasn't being responsible for really anything, and so it was awesome.
Anything else you'd like to add, Sandy?
No, just that I am super, super pleased and really excited to start my jewelry business here and my sculpture business here, and now I have the most wonderful space to do it in, and I'm really appreciative and blessed.
Terrific. Well, thanks so much, Sandy.
Thank you.
Okay, we're back with Melinda Welch with First Class Painting and Restoration, and we're just going to wrap things up. And Melinda, why don't you tell everybody how they can get in touch with First Class Painting and Restoration?
Okay, well, you can call us at 324-6006, or you can visit our website, which is paintfirstclass.biz.
Okay, and is it all spelled out? Paint, F-I-R-S-T?
Yes, it is.
paintfirstclass.biz.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay. And the phone number again?
Is 324-6006.
Okay, well, we have been talking with Melinda Welch with First Class Painting and Restoration, and I got to throw in a quick plug too. I've had First Class Painting and Restoration paint my house before, and I know exactly what Sandy means by the family affair, and I think your mother-in-law was up on a ladder scraping or something.
Yes, we are a family-run company. My husband is Tommy Welch, who is owner of the company. I'm co-owner and head of design with the company, do a lot of FaceTime with all of our clients, as well as managing staff. And his mother, my mother-in-law, Ronnie, is our estimator, and she's wonderful at what she does. She works firsthand with the clients and works very diligently to make sure they're within their budget and make sure that she really can bring a sense of pride to the accomplished work that we do. So we work as a very good team.
Yeah, and just give that website one more time.
It's paintfirstclass.biz.
Okay, good deal. Well, we've been talking with Melinda Welch, First Class Painting and Restoration. Thanks so much, Melinda.
Thank you.